Can you put it on Do Not Disturb for me?
Uh, Focus, do not disturb on.
Okay. That way no one's like texting you or it's not like rumbling and dinging while we're going, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so here we are. I would just kind of treat it as a conversation. Like this is my fifth one. I'm a terrible interviewer. I say I pause, I get awkward. So don't feel like you're under any pressure. It's just a conversation. So
I'm not good at conversations either.
I know, but that's okay. And so we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna chat, and maybe go on for you know 40 minutes, maybe go on for an hour, maybe go on for 20. Whatever. It's I don't. It's not gonna force a certain timeline. We're just gonna hang out. I mean, I usually talk to you on the phone for like an hour anyway, every third
Yeah.
week, or I'll talk to you for 10 minutes about what the hell's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's really just to capture kind of what's going on in your life up to this point, and from there talk about maybe some future aspirations and kind of capture it video and audio, at least audio, hopefully. For those listening, we've kind of gone back and forth. The ones I've done so far have been on in person with microphones and headphones. Now we're doing it via distance. And I had a microphone and then I bailed on it. And so two different options here, but I think it looks okay. I brought the lamp
I
out.
think it does. Yeah, it looks good. You got some
Yeah,
good backlighting.
to soften the wall behind me. I got a ring
Yep.
light behind the camera
Yeah, it looks good.
to light me up,
It
you
looks
know?
good.
Okay. You look good too. Where are you right now?
I am in Michael's room.
Michael's room. Okay, over in Haverhill. So you're over in Haverhill.
Over in Haverhill.
Okay, good. All right, well, we can kind of roll into it. I'm not sponsored by Starbucks, so I try to put it in the no plug so they wouldn't get
But are we? Maybe
No.
we are.
No, we're just a slave to their coffee and
Yeah, seriously.
So I sent you some questions as kind of a primer, and we don't have to like hop right into the questions by any means. You know what I mean? We can kind of just work through them. But you are in nursing school currently, and where are you
Yes.
going to nursing school?
Endicott College in Beverly.
Okay, and how far are you into your program?
4 months, so 12 left to go
12 left to go, so
out of a
16-month
16
program.
month program. Yep.
Okay, great. And how's it going so far?
It's a lot. It's been pretty stressful. We've had like exams and quizzes almost every single week and papers every week, so it's been a lot of work, and I know that I signed up for it, so I knew this wasn't going to be easy, but it's definitely stressful. I feel like there's like a lot of pressure they have like these standards that you have to like uphold to, and I feel like I'm I'm meeting them and I'm doing way better than I expected, but I just feel like it's only going to get harder, and I'm definitely afraid to fail. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but so far so good.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll rise to the occasion and face the challenge head on you have so far. Um, you said they have these standards. Is it kind of just like, hey, you have to maintain a certain GPA, or what is this standard talking about?
So not necessarily a GPA, but like in the courses you have to get, I mean, this is pretty like, I guess it's not as strict as other programs. So like we have to maintain like a 77 or above on all of our exams. And then like we have like these math tests that we take and we have to do 90% or better on them. Otherwise, like I think they said originally you were out of the program, but I'm not so sure about that. I think it's more so like you just can't pass meds like during clinicals and stuff like that.
Mm.
But each semester you have to have a 77 or a better in the course overall as well. So like it's not too bad. Like I feel like I'm doing better than that, but it's it's definitely still stressful. Like in my undergrad, I didn't really necessarily have to worry about that. I just had to worry about doing well.
Right.
So I don't know. It's different, but we'll see.
And can you let everyone know what you did in undergrad and where you went for that as well?
I went to Salem State for my undergrad, and I got a degree in biomedical science. And I also did a minor in chemistry, um, which was pretty. That chemistry part was awful. Don't recommend taking organic chemistry to anybody. I like slid by in that class, and somehow I passed, but don't know how I did. So
Have you had to use any of it for nursing?
no.
Okay.
So that's the thing with nursing students, they have like a so in my program obviously you have all of these set prereqs and chemistry is one of them. It could be like a basic chemistry or um like a biochemistry, whatever. But when you're in a typical 4-year program, they take like a chemistry that's specific to nursing, and it's supposedly not, well, it's a little bit easier, I guess, than like
Yeah.
the chemistry that I was taking. So, but we don't utilize it at all. So maybe when we get to pharmacology, I don't know, but
I'm
right now
sure
we
it'll
don't.
come into play at some point if they're asking for
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
yeah, well, good. So finished up undergrad. And then what year did you graduate your undergraduate in?
That was, oh God, that was only last
2021,
year. So 2022, actually.
22.
Yep.
Okay. So graduated in 22. And you went to Salem State for biomed. Was that your first choice of degree? Did you want to go to nursing school out of high school? Were you kind of conflicted? Was this the best option?
That I was pretty conflicted. I applied to one nursing school when I was in high school, and I applied to URI. I didn't get in. And I also applied to MCPHS in Boston for farm, yeah, pharmacy, their pharmacy program. I got in, but then I decided I didn't want to do that. So I was like, my original route was, okay, do my prereqs and biology degree, and then go to PA school. Um, but I decided, that'll changed when I had to fulfill like those patient care hours that were required, and I saw like how the field works, I guess, firsthand. Like I saw the nurses working closely with the patients, and I liked how hands-on it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is what I want to do." Um, and then I saw like those really great nurses and those really bad nurses, and I was like, "Oh, like I don't want to be like that." Like there's people who go into the field without like any empathy or compassion for like anything. And I feel like that plays like a huge part into like the care that you provide for your patients. And so I'd like to make a change there and hopefully be able to do that for mine one day.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so you've been in the medical field for kind of a while now. When you think about it, I mean, you've been in either a CNA or a like a medical assistant position for I don't know, like 3 years, 4 years,
Yeah. Yeah. That
doing
sounds about
something
right.
medical. So, um, what kind of drove your decision to go with Salem Vice? I'm gonna mess it up. MCPH, MPC.
MCPHS.
Yeah, the Mass College of
Um,
Pharmaceutical
well,
Science.
I don't know. I guess I've heard things about MCPHS that weren't the best. That was kind of like a huge deciding factor. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm interested in pharmacy anyway. And that was the program that I had gotten into. Plus, I wasn't planning on, like, if I had gotten into URI's nursing program and I went there, different story. I probably would have dormed there and all of that. But
Hmm.
I, I didn't want to do that. Like, I wasn't. like everybody else, oh, I want to go to college and stay there and have roommates. Like, I'm not like that. So I was like, I'm gonna commute, and commuting into Boston every day sounded like a lot. And
Yeah.
um, I mean, Salem was a haul too, 40 minutes every single day almost, but it was way better than that commute to Boston. So it
Yeah.
just made more sense overall.
Yeah. Yeah. I think URI is like a weird school too. I don't know a lot of people that went there and stayed for 4 years and loved it. I know
Oh,
more people that went for a year and transferred. I don't
interesting.
think any of my friends that went there stayed there for 4 years. Like Phil went there, Brian Smith went there, the Valentes went there, and a lot of people went there and just like,
Just didn't
mm-mm,
like it.
this is not
Well,
for
that
me.
makes me feel better
Yeah,
about the
I think it
decision that I
was
made
meant
then.
to be. Yeah, you,
That they rejected me.
yeah, stayed local, became a local gal on the North Shore, and now
Yep,
you're still local, Endicott. So
yep.
that's great. And what do you think drove you towards healthcare and then nursing specifically? I know you talked about having seen good nurses, bad nurses, a lot of hands on, but why do you think you even got into this field in the first place?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I just really like caring for others, I guess. Like I feel like I have like that need within myself to like do that for other people, and sometimes I feel like this is like something that would satisfy that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've also seen like how, like I think seeing Nani being a nurse, she did it at 40 with 4 kids. Like I think that was also, pretty influential, but seeing other people be in the field and talk about it, the flexibility, the security, and just I've heard a lot of great things. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this is something that I want to do, and I found all the it's interesting to me. So figured I would give it a try.
Good. Yeah, I think it's in everybody to want to, maybe not everybody, but I think it's like a pretty natural human uh, emotion and yearning to kind of help other people, because I think it makes you feel good when you do help other people. So that's why people go into those fields. And yeah, Nani probably had an influence in that as well, and maybe even Frankie too.
Yeah, Frankie for sure. Frankie did to some extent because she originally sparked my idea of going to PA school when
Mhm.
she was considering it. So I didn't even think about that until you said that.
Because it seems like we have the bug in the family now with Samantha in nursing school.
Hmm.
You're in nursing school. Frankie maybe go back to nursing school. Nani's a nurse. So it just kind of seems like it runs in the blood. So uh, it's very interesting. But what do you hope to accomplish? So you're going to graduate next December, right? Is that
Yes,
okay? So next December around this time, you'll be walking across the stage or whatever they do for nursing school.
hopefully.
Yeah. With your, uh, I don't know, maybe you'll have a little sash or whatever, right? Um, Graduate. What aspirations and goals do you have in the next few years after you graduate nursing school? If you've thought ahead that far.
It's kind of it's kind of hard to tell. I feel like I get this question a lot. They're like, "Oh, what kind of nurse do you want to be? What do you want to do?" And I'm like, honestly, I don't feel as though I have like though I do have experience, I feel like I don't have enough to know yet. I mean, every single day it's something new. I've worked with kids for a long time, so I'm like, oh my God, pediatrics, like I love kids, but then there's also that, oh my God, do I want to see kids in that position? And like
Right.
I feel like that would be more devastating to me. Or do I want to like I've worked in endocrinology, and like I have learned a lot, and I feel like I have a lot of knowledge and background there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do that. But then I like, oh my God, mother and babies, I can bring babies into this world. Like that's so cool. And then yesterday at my clinical, we went up to the neuro ICU where my professor works, and we went into a patient's room, and she explained everything to us, and I was just like, this was like almost like shocking to me in a way, but I was like, wow, like this is so cool. Like seeing all like the machines working to keep this person alive, seeing all like the IV drips and medications. I was like, wow, like it's organized chaos. And I feel like that's me. Like I feel like I can be disorganized, but like I love a good like they all the lines were set up so pretty, but it was like so much and like there
Mhm.
was beeping and I'm like I like that. So I don't know, I guess we'll see. I also really like the idea of, going back and maybe going to nurse practitioner school and doing something along those lines or maybe going into aesthetics and injecting people and doing all that. But I don't find that as fulfilling. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll have to see what I guess I won't know until I have started working and done more clinical rounds and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I to your initial point of like wanting to help you, but yeah, the aesthetics is probably some cash in there, but yeah, probably not as not much self
Yeah.
fulfillment.
Yeah. A lot of people do um a lot of people, I mean, there's nurses who like open their own practice and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But then there's also nurses that I know um who work like in the emergency room 3 days a week and then they do that on the side. So like if it was something that I was
Sure,
interested in, I could still do it while fulfilling that
sure.
need as well.
The moonlight as an aesthetician.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the word aesthetician. I don't think it is, but it's close.
It's
Esthetician.
aesthetic. It's so well because then there's the estheticians who do like your eyelashes and stuff, but then there's the aesthetic who do like the medical sort of things. And
Mm,
then there's also the anesthesia, which would be cool, but like that you could do CRNA school, which I love the idea of that, but I am not good at math and don't I've just had everybody say, "Oh my God, you're not good at math. Why are you going to nursing school?" I'm like, "Oh my God, like give me a break. I'll figure it out." It's all like a lot of it's just practicing and
yeah. Oh yeah,
like
we were doing math problems for drugs, weren't we? Is that what
yeah,
that was
yeah.
for anesthesia or pharmacy or
Uh,
something like that?
it was like giving like the
Medication.
proper dose, and for some reason, I spent like 9 hours that day going through how to like do these problems. I felt like a pro at the end of it. Like it took me probably like 5 minutes per each problem. I was like, oh my God, I got this. And then I send the problem in my family group chat, just like joking around, and John sends it back within like a minute and it's completed and it was correct. And I'm like, what? How did you manage to do that?
Well, the good thing is that if you're in anesthesia, if you're in anesthesia, you're probably not doing a lot of hand calculations. Maybe I'm wrong
Well, yeah,
because I've never been there, but with A, you have calculators everywhere, and B, with AI's
technology.
advancement, you could just basically generate what they need and it'll cater
Exactly.
to whatever they need. I think
I
that's what
think that's
funny is.
huge. Like people don't realize how far technology has advanced. And so a lot of that, like even in clinical, like you'll see like that most of the dosages and stuff like that are already it's already done.
Right.
There's a lot of like um, pop-ups too that tell you, "Oh no, like you can't do that." And, "Oh, this is a contradiction." Like so it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to see how far it's come and that eases my mind a little bit about that whole math thing.
Yeah, as long as you know enough to be dangerous to if something doesn't pass the sniff test and you can be like, well, that doesn't seem right, and then you know how to go back and check it
Correct.
later, then that's probably as much as you need for math.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 1,000 milliunits. Like, what the hell? That doesn't sound right. And then you check, you're like,
That's
oh,
it. That's exactly what they told us. They're like, if you get like a really high number or like an extremely low number, you probably did something wrong and you should go back and check that. And I'm like, that makes sense.
yeah,
So it all works out.
yeah. It all buffs. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's good. That's good.
oh,
Yeah, I
I just
wonder.
dropped my AirPod underneath the couch.
Oh, perfect. That's what you want. Got it.
I don't stay in my ears. Okay, we're good.
You get blocked ears. Okay. Um, Okay, so we don't really know what we want to do yet. Do you know where you want to live?
You're
Because I
hitting me with all the hard questions.
well, these are tough questions because I don't know. I'm always
I,
like trying to decide
you're
like
always bouncing
where do I want to
around.
stay?
I There's always, it would be so cool to live somewhere like you and Frankie have, like in Hawaii. When I went there, I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing. This is great. But at the same time, I don't know, like I do love New England. I do hate the winter, but I love it at the same time. I feel like it would be hard to move somewhere where like you don't experience those four seasons. I feel like at the end of the day, I don't know, I love New Hampshire. I mean, that's not anywhere far, but I don't know. I feel like as soon as you cross the state lines from Massachusetts
Something
to New
changes.
Hampshire, it's like, yes, it's like a total different world. I don't know why, but like I love New Hampshire and like it's still close enough to like southern New Hampshire, still close enough to Boston where like I could go into Boston if I needed to for my
Hmm.
job, but I don't know. Uh, it depends. It depends on a lot of things. I feel like it would be a discussion that, if Mike and I were to further our relationship one day, I feel like it would be a discussion between us two. Like, hey, I feel like we're gonna end up staying here, which is
When you say
okay,
here,
but
you mean Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. But you know what? Then at least that's what traveling's for, right?
Yeah, I
Go
could
to
see
all the
you with
different
the lake
places,
house.
and
I could see you living in Massachusetts with the lake house in Winnipesaukee
that
or something.
that's the goal.
Yeah, and I'll
That is
come
the
visit you
goal.
at your lake house.
Yes, we'd have a lot of family time up there. I'd hope it
Yeah,
would be fun. I think every time I see somebody who has a lake house, and there's so many people with like lake houses that like don't utilize them. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's like the perfect place. Like, you need a break from all the chaos at home. Oh my God, let's just go up to the lake house. You can go in the winter, there's skiing, there's, snowboarding, or in the summer, like, let's just take the boat out at night. Let's go get dinner. Like, I don't know, it's so fun. And people don't utilize them when they have them, and that's
I
what
know.
makes me mad. Or they're like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." I'm like, "It is a big deal to
It's a huge
me."
deal.
Like, I love that. And then like I feel like that's like such like a nice, like, having your families and everything like go up there and like celebrate holidays, or like the 4th of July. How fun would that be? You
Right.
know, creating memories and all that jazz. I'd be like the cool aunt with the lake house.
Yep. Maybe we're going to Auntie Georgie's house.
Yep. Oh,
Yep.
that sounds so weird. We still gotta figure out what we're gonna call each other one day.
Yeah. Mine's pretty easy, but everyone else, yeah.
Sam, Uncle Sam,
Yeah. Oh, he could be your
Auntie
uncle.
Frankie. Like, that doesn't sound good.
Auntie Frankie?
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Auntie Fran.
She'd hate that.
Yeah, I know.
Auntie F.
I'd
Auntie
have
F
to say
sounds
like
kind of good.
Gigi. G
Gigi, something like that, yeah.
Gigi.
Frankie has like
Yeah.
Gigi vibes too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, she does.
Even though you'd be Gigi because you're Georgie, that makes more sense. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Um,
figure that out when the time comes, but that's always a thought in the back of my mind. That's
yeah.
important. Like Auntie Rose, Auntie Mickey, Uncle, like where did that all come from? It just
Yeah.
flows so naturally, you know?
Yeah. You can kind of just make it up too. I was at my friend Andrew's house last night. He's got two little babies, Ollie and Nada. And he was just saying, he's like, it's you can call people whatever you want, and then you can just make stuff up. It doesn't matter. Like our friend Caroline was there. Their daughter Nada calls her Caroline. She's like, yeah, that's what it is now. It's just Caroline. It's fine. You know, it's like
Oh,
you can just make names up. It doesn't
yeah,
matter at all. So
that's cute.
yeah, she's super cute, little blonde haired little gal. We made
Oh,
sushi. Yeah, we made sushi.
ooh,
So much sushi. It
with
was good.
fish,
With
like with
fish.
sushi grade. Yeah,
Yeah, we went to Wegmans and got like a slab of sashimi tuna and salmon, and then we
nice.
got avocado and the cucumbers and the cream cheese and the smoked salmon and the crab and the whole nine. Super good.
Pretty sweet.
I ate my weight in sushi. Yeah, it was good. That's good. Do you have a journal?
I should journal because, well, I don't know. Sometimes I used to journal a lot, and now I feel like I don't, but I do sometimes will, I don't know, if I have something like in my head that like I feel like I need to get out or like just like want to write it down, like I'll pull up my phone, go on my notes app and like I have journal entries.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't necessarily take the time to like pull out a piece of paper and
yeah.
start writing. But I do feel like whenever I do, it's helpful, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard this prompt one time. I was listening to someone, I don't remember what, but it was a good prompt. It was basically like write down your ideal day, like from start to finish, your ideal day, and like frame your life around getting to that, being able to live that every day. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's like,
That's actually
yeah. So when you're thinking about
really
like,
like
where do I want to live? What do I want to do? What do I blah blah blah? It's cool to think about like, oh, okay, well, screw all that other stuff, but what does my ideal day look like at 30, 40, whatever? What is like, what fills my cup? What, when I wake up, what do I want to be able to do? What do I want to be near? What do I do during the day? Do I have flexibility at night? What do I want to do? So like, that was kind of cool to help frame my brain and maybe yours and really anyone's too. That's the end state, and now you kind of like do all this other crap to get to that thing. And there's like 50 different routes to ideal. You know, you can go 10 different directions and do 10 different things, but um, reaching that like ideal day is kind of like success over necessarily money and all this other stuff.
well, that's something, I mean, that kind of coincides with like the what I've been wanting to do for a while is people do like the vision boards where like
Mm-hmm.
they like take the magazines, they make the collages, they put everything up in front of them and then you see it every morning and it's something to look forward to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And hey, if any of you have magazines, please give them to me because I have not been able to do this because magazines are actually kind of expensive.
And they're kind of hard
So,
to find now.
yes, yes. So I'm like, I don't want to wait. Like, I don't have a printer. Like, and I really want to do like an actual collage. So, but yeah, I think that journal prompt is actually like a pretty good um like foundation for somebody who's trying to figure all of that out. Plus, if then you can make it into a vision board too.
Then
So
you
it
can
can
make
be
it into a
motivating.
vision board.
Power of manifestation. That's how I got here. I used to scream in my car, I'm going to get into nursing school. I'm gonna do it because I would get so upset with myself. I'd be like, I'm not gonna amount to anything. I'm not gonna get into nursing school. And look at screaming in your car that you're gonna get into nursing school
It's paid dividends.
gets you into nursing school. Same with the car. I used to say, I hate this car. I'm gonna get a new car soon.
Well,
Well, I hit it. I didn't want it to happen this way. I didn't want to hit a deer and total my car, but I got a new car.
it ended up kind of working out. Yeah, why don't you tell everyone what happened to your car?
Manifestation. Um, Last weekend I was coming home from, or no, I was going to um someone's house, one of our friends' house, and I had my friend in the car, Lauren, and we were driving through Boxford. It was like pretty late, dark, and Boxford's like all woodsy area, you know. I was going the speed limit. I wasn't speeding. And a deer literally just jumped in front of my car. I had no time to stop. And yeah, I mean, he wasn't hurt. He kept going, but my car wasn't that bad, but I guess it was enough for the insurance company to total it. So it kind of worked out in my favor, I guess, to some extent.
Yeah, because now you at least got to do new whip drive around as a Jetta,
Yeah, it's a
the
Jetta.
white Jetta,
Cute
the
little
white line.
Jetta. Yep, it's already being babied, so this car this car is my baby. It's like it's crazy. Like I mean, I don't know, like my other car had like I get it had like Bluetooth and stuff like that, but this car like I'm still trying to figure everything out. I'm like, geez, I've never had like this luxury of having like a digital speedometer and stuff like that. Like, this is pretty cool. Like
Look at
seat
me.
seat warmers. Oh yeah, and the most important thing is I have AC now because I did not have AC for the past 2 years, but that's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
I made it work.
Yeah.
Roll
Well,
down the windows.
at least you're in Massachusetts. I mean, not having heat there would be miserable, but the
Somewhere
summers
else would
were pretty
be.
hot in your car. Though. I remember getting in there some days and just being like, "Jeez."
And then the power steering blew too, so I couldn't even like turn my car. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well,
It was
good.
a workout.
Happy that thing's where it belongs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. We've run through a lot of cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The four of us have been through a lot of cars.
Uh, I mean, you, Sam, and Frankie, absolutely. But me, not really. I had the Jeep, and then we couldn't really prevent that from doing what it did. So me and Mom went down and got this car. It lasted me 5 or 6 years, and it would have probably. I mean, it probably wouldn't have gone another year, but I was trying to use it through school. So, but I don't know. You and Sam's gone through like five cars. Frankie's
Frankie's been
gone
through a
through
lot too.
like six.
Well, I only
Pretty
had my one car, and that was it. And then I used Dad's truck.
yeah.
And then Frankie used Dad's truck.
Oh yeah, Big Blue.
Yeah.
It was a good truck. I stole that when I had my permit and took it to Starbucks and McDonald's. I
Did
don't think Dad or Mom ever knew about that.
did Nani catch you once?
Oh yeah, Nani. Well, that I only did it that one time, and I was pulling back in the driveway, and so was it Nani. And me and Lauren were sitting in the front seat. We're like, "Oh shoot, what are we gonna do?" We get out of the car. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I just took it around the block." She's like, "You're full of crap." And like she sees us pop out with like our McDonald's and our Starbucks. She's like, "I'm telling Mom." She never ended up doing. You can honestly, Nani's a good secret keeper.
Yeah.
Same with Auntie Mickey. Auntie Mickey keeps a lot of secrets.
Yeah, she keeps it
That's
locked down.
funny. Yep, yep.
Losing
This
it every.
air, yeah. This my ears are too small. I need to get the smaller things fit in my ear. You know.
Mm-hmm. You went skydiving recently. How was that? You say it's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I honestly, every time I think about it, like my stomach like flips. It's kind of weird, but when you jump out of the actual plane itself, like that doesn't happen. I don't know. I think like the anticipation and like thinking about it is like way worse than like it actually was. And it was like so fun that the friend that I was with, we wanted to go again. Um, but we didn't do that. So I don't know. I maybe that'll be a new hobby. Maybe I'll get certified. I don't think I could do it by myself actually. The idea of jumping out of a plane by myself and pulling the actual parachute is scary to me. I don't think I trust myself enough. So maybe just some more tandem skydiving.
Yeah, that's
It's
probably
good.
safe route.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend to anybody,
Yeah.
actually.
Hmm. What
You went skydiving too.
I did. Yeah, in Hawaii. It was beautiful. It was insane. I went with Ricky and Rydell.
I feel like that would be a cool place to do it because there's just so much to see, you know?
Yeah. Did you do the video too? I think you did, right? Or did you just do pictures?
I did the video, yeah.
The video. Yeah, it's so awkward. I remember like being there and they're like, "You ready to go skydiving?"
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Once I rewatched that video, I was like, oh, this is super cringy.
super
Like,
awkward, yeah. And then we
yeah.
jumped out, and that was amazing. And then yeah, the company that I went diving with, they had a huge fiery crash, and like 5 people died like a month later.
Jeez, John, you're getting
Yeah,
dark.
yeah. I mean, I got lucky, but yeah, not good, not
Yeah.
ideal.
Okay, well maybe I don't recommend it to any of you guys, then. Don't go skydiving.
Yeah.
I like think about like Sam like wanting to go skydiving and I'm like, oh God, like just don't do it. Like I don't know. Like freaks me out. Like Frankie and Sam, like don't go. Like I don't care about like I care about myself, but like I feel like I have like control, but like I like don't thinking about them like jumping out of a plane like scares me.
Yeah,
Just don't do it. Don't do anything that's gonna put your life in danger, please. I like worry way too much about like everybody.
yeah.
Like
That's
the
kind of
most irrational things.
yeah. That's like you in a nutshell.
Worry, worry, worry.
Worrying about people, yeah. How do you think that's come about? Like, why do you think you're such a worrier? You know, I mean, you were as the third child in the clan. How did you be the one that worries the most? You think you'd be like me,
Oh
or
God, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like a ball of anxiety. I like I said, these like irrational thoughts, and I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like I've always been like that, and especially as a kid, like I don't know. Mom used to say like I would be like, oh my God, like don't go near like that balloon, don't get on the swing, like just like all these things, like when I was a kid, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's kind of messed up. Like, what's wrong with me? You know, I don't like it's really scary now that I think about it. I don't know where that came from because none of you guys are like that. Maybe it's from mom. I feel like mom always was kind of like that. I think having 4 kids and like oh, just all this like running around and like trying to like make sure everybody's okay. Like maybe
hmm
I just like saw that in her and like kind of took it on to myself.
yeah,
I
took it
don't
to a
know,
next
but
level.
I feel like mom's not even really like that though. I don't know, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Maybe I should see somebody for it.
Do you think you've uh, gotten less, I guess, anxious as you've gotten older, or more?
I feel like it was heightened when I was a kid, but I feel like now I feel like it depends. I feel like it's gotten better, but I feel like I definitely still have those times where I'm like, "Oh God," like I just like worry about everybody and like think about like the worst possible scenario in my head, and I don't know why. I don't know why it happens, but I feel like it's not like I obviously don't tell people not to go near balloons anymore or like not to get on that swing. But
You're gonna catch
um
pneumonia.
yeah, I don't know. I It's definitely gotten better, but still there. Still there.
Yeah, understandable.
Taking that AirPod out keeps falling out of my ear.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think you need it. Growing up, it was the squad,
Yep.
4 of us. Um, what was kind of your relationship with like for each of us? Do you remember? Do you remember what?
Um I don't really it's funny because like John said, he kind of gave me like a set of questions and like I looked at them and I was like I was really trying to think back like when we were kids like how each of our relationships were and I really don't remember up until like
Uh,
high school. Like I feel like that's when I started to like, your like frontal lobe kicks in and it's like, all right, like I don't know, I feel like that and that's where I came to like the conclusion that all of us started to become more like of a unit. Like we all started to become closer and like interact with each other, but that's when we also like started to like fight and argue and like, so I don't know. I I definitely feel like with Frankie, especially like growing up, like we definitely had that like sister caddy relationship, and like we would fight, like we would get into it, but then like we're both so stubborn that, we would like we just like walk into each other's room one day after like we argued and just like stare at each other and like crack up, and like that was it. Like that's how like we would end our arguments. There was never like an apology because we just we couldn't do it. We realized how stupid our arguments would be. But with Frankie, I don't know, I feel like growing up and having a sister too, especially, like it's another woman to like look up to, and I feel like she was always there and supportive and, giving me advice. And I don't know, I feel like especially in high school, I was going I was a freshman, she was a senior, and you would think that, like she wouldn't want anything to do with me, but she was actually really supportive, and she kind of took me under her wing, and she would even let me hang out with like her friends and stuff. And I think I always like remember that. I feel like that's when we like really bonded. And then when she left for school, I was devastated. I was like, "Mom, I can't do this." I was like, "I need a dog." And that's when we got Brody. I was like, I need a dog
Brody
just to
was the
fill that
replacement to
space.
Frankie.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I feel like um we and now like we're still close. Like I can tell her anything and everything without judgment, and I think she can do the same with me. Like I I would hope so at least. And I feel like, we don't talk, like sometimes we go weeks without talking because we're just busy, and I understand that. It does make me sad sometimes, but I feel like we all have our own lives and all of that, and hopefully one day maybe she'll move back here and we'll all be closer in proximity, and like we can definitely like keep like see each other more often, like
Mhm.
holidays and stuff like that especially. But I don't know. Then with Sam's just Sam. I Sam just cracks me up. He's like his own little person, and he's like pretty independent, and I don't know. You call him, he doesn't answer the phone. I just wish he would answer that goddamn phone. He does not answer, but he'll call you when he needs something, right? But it's a joke. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
we all take it very lightly. Like obviously, I don't care. We Sam and I feel like we've never really argued or anything like that. We definitely got annoyed with each other, but he's just so funny that you can't. It's so. Oh,
Oh,
air. Hello, can you hear me?
hey.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, fireworks just came up on my
Oh,
screen.
fireworks.
Um,
What the
I
heck is
don't
that? What are
know.
you
I
doing?
didn't do anything. I don't know. Sam and we have like a good relationship. He's sibling. I don't know. I love Sam, but I just feel like we don't talk, like I don't know, I feel like I talk to you and Frankie more than I talk to Sam now, like that we're all like in our own little spots and stuff like that. But it's been fun to see
Mhm.
Sam, grow and see the person that he's become, and I'm happy that, he's working and he's doing something that he likes and enjoys, and he has his goals, and I hope that one day, he reaches them. And maybe if I could be of any help to him one day, I hope to do that for him. But I don't know. I feel like I don't, like I said, I don't remember like how we all were growing up. I just
Mhm.
remember there being like lots of hustle and bustle, and I think that's huge. But with you too, I feel like when we were in, I don't even know. I feel like even past the point of you being in high school, I feel like that's when we started to be close, like you being in college, even though that you were further away. I just feel like we could have more conversations and stuff like that. Um, and I definitely feel like you've just been a really good source of like from that point till now. Like you're just full of knowledge and support and advice, and I feel like you're always a good person to talk to. And I don't know. I feel like even though that you're far away, just like Frankie, we always try to maintain that line of communication.
Hmm.
And being the brother and the older sibling, I mean, Sam's pretty protective, but I feel like you're especially protective. Like you would do anything if any, more so with the girls, but I feel like in general, like you'd beat somebody up if if you had to, like then and now. So I don't know, but I think a huge thing about us as siblings, like being in like the same school system and like North Reading and stuff, I feel like everybody knew the Elliott family, like because we all had our friends, and then they knew people, and we.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool.
plan.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know if that's like good or bad for Sam as the
yeah,
baby coming up. Like,
yeah, I know he gets
yeah,
all three
yeah,
generations.
my crap. Frankie was like pretty good. You were pretty
Yeah,
good, and then like Sam.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so,
But then that's another thing about you too is like you weren't always the best in high school. But then after high school, like you did like a full 360 and look at you now.
look at me now. Yeah, I think yeah, middle school and high school were like formative years for sure. You know,
Mm,
um,
yeah.
I think I was like very anti like not establishment, you know what I mean? But I was very anti. Um, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Like anti-authority, And I didn't like being told what to do ever, and so I was like, no. And then I don't know when the switch flipped, but yeah, I went to college and lived on my own a little bit and got like a real taste of like the actual real world and not just
World.
yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what actual life is like. And then I think the military was like one of the best things I ever did because it was very instrumental in like helping me grow up fast,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely appreciate that, all the tools that that's given me.
I feel like you too, um, I feel like you kind of set the framework for all of us. And then you also were kind of like that baseline of like how far we could go and like how far we could push mom and dad's buttons. Like, oh, this happened when John did this, so we can't do that. Like,
Yeah. And then we all broke mom and dad to where Sam just can like do whatever he wants.
do whatever.
He's like 16. He's
No, but
like
Sam,
14
but I
driving
feel
the
like
car.
mom, yeah, literally. I feel like Sam, though, however, did get a lot of like, I think mom did, like, mom and dad sort of like were just like, whatever, because like they were just like so done with all of us at that point. But then like Sam also did get like, he did get a good brunt of it. Like, but Sam, I don't know, he was pretty rebellious too. So I feel like he's not like that anymore, but he still can be
Yeah.
to an extent. I think mom's just over it.
Yeah.
He's an adult now, so what
He's
is,
yeah. He's by law an adult. So
an adult,
he's just gonna
exactly.
do the adult stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all of us growing up, we're just, everyone grows up and figures out new things. And it's funny because you think you're 18 or you're 20 and you're like, oh, I got it all figured out. And then you're 25 and you're like, oh, I was so stupid. And then you're 30 and you're like, I was so stupid. And I bet when I'm 50, I'll be like, oh my God, when I was 30, I was so stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
just keep looking back and be like, why would I think that way? So it's
I
kind of,
know.
and as a parent, you try to teach your kids things and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. And they're like, oh man, if you could just kind of see where I'm trying to guide you. But you don't think that,
Yeah,
you're kids.
yeah.
It's
Well,
hard to remember as a parent, hard to remember what it's like being a 13-year-old or a, whatever year old and then trying to make it important to them. That's the challenge,
yeah,
I
for
think. I'm
sure.
not a parent, so I don't know. But I don't
Well,
know.
you'll find out sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you could go back and talk to Georgie when she was like a freshman in high school, right? Would there be I mean, I don't think living with regret is a good thing. I don't think there's anything. Do you regret anything you ever did? But if you could give 14-year-old Georgie a piece of advice, what would you say?
Oof, that's tough. I give her a lot of advice. Probably, well, going back to that whole worrying thing, I'd probably tell her to stop freaking worrying. Sorry, stop worrying about the future and try to focus on being more present. I feel like I have a really hard time with that still, but I feel like I've been trying to be better about it, and I feel like worrying about like what's going to happen in the future and where you're going to go just kind of like hinders like where you're at now. So I feel like that's something that I would tell her, and probably that you don't need this is huge actually. You don't need a lot of friends to be happy. You just need a couple of good friends, and that's it. More friends creates more chaos and drama that you don't need, and it's good to just have that good core friend group, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think at that age I was so worried about, oh, I don't have like this, like I had a lot of friends growing up actually, but like now I don't, and I feel like I'm coming to terms with that. It's okay to like not have all the friends in the world. You don't have to know every. It's not. It's kind of nice actually, not having everybody know your business and all of that. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Maybe not be
That's
so
pretty
hard
good
on
advice.
yourself. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, we're usually our own worst
Exactly.
critic.
I think that
Always.
I feel like that never really gets any easier
Yeah.
unless you're like super super confident and like, but it's all right. That comes with time, right?
Yeah. But I think everyone is always that's a big blanket statement. Everyone is always. But I think a majority of people are often hard on themselves, more so than other people would be on
Right.
them. Because it's like a natural instinct almost to, you know, either you either have that drive to push yourself, or like if you don't do it, then you kind of feel bad for yourself. But um, yeah, there was a book I read, and one of the things he says in it is like, treat yourself as if you were responsible for caring for yourself. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Like it's not crazy, like whoa, that blew my mind. But it's like if you had a cat or a dog or a child, you would always make sure like they're fed, they're getting walked, they're doing the right things, like they're not, you know what I mean? You look out for them, but sometimes when we look out for ourselves, we negate all the obvious
Right.
things that we're supposed to do because we're just like whatever. But like, if you treat yourself like you're caring for yourself, then you'd probably be a lot better off because, like you said, like you have a natural instinct to want to care for and provide for other people, but often at the expense of yourself, um, which
That's
is
pretty interesting
kind of what you're saying.
way to look at it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. That's some pretty good advice to old George
Yeah. I
back
could
when she
probably
was a young
I
gal.
have a lot of stuff I
Yeah.
could probably say to her, but I don't know. It's that would be like a laundry
Yeah.
list. Maybe a grocery.
You can write a
Yeah,
small book.
literally like stop doing this, do this. Like,
Yeah.
oh God. I was
Yeah.
having a rough time
Yeah.
at that point in my life.
Yeah.
But here we
Yeah.
are.
Here we are. Evolved. What do you think is one of the moments, I think when people think of their teenage years and their adolescence, it's like you're like, oh man, I was so X. But what do you think is one of the moments you're proudest of yourself up to this point?
Up to this point.
Yeah, up to this point in your life. I mean, you're right, like right now, not when you were 14, like in your life, right? What do you think is one of the moments that you felt really proud of yourself?
Honestly, when I graduated college. When I graduated this AirPod. Oh gosh, it keeps falling out of my ear. I'm gonna hold it. Hopefully that doesn't. Okay. Probably when I graduated college.
Okay.
I I feel like
Okay.
What, is that not a good answer? Is that not a good answer?
Go. I'm listening.
Well, I
That's a good
didn't think
answer, of course. Yeah, you worked really hard to get into it, and
I
then
didn't
you
think I
got
was gonna
4 hard
finish
years of
college.
work to graduate.
I didn't. Nani, no, it was
I
just a
know, you took a
semester,
year
and it
off.
actually ended
Was
up
it a whole
working
year or
out
just a
perfectly
semester?
because I took it off in December because I just couldn't do it, and I worked, but I was gonna work full time for that semester, and then COVID happened, so everything moved online anyway, and I in reality that would have worked out for me because I probably
Mm-hmm.
would have been more comfortable, being at home and doing all this stuff, but everything happens for a reason. But Nani said the same thing. She said,
Mm-hmm.
"I didn't think that you were gonna finish," and she really didn't think so. And I think when did I think she said her and Papa didn't think that I was gonna finish. They were rooting for me, and so I was like, "Yep,
Yeah. Well,
I felt really, really good after that. It felt like a huge accomplishment, even though to some it's just another thing under their belt.
yeah. Yeah. Because it was interesting. We're all like, oh, she's taking a semester off. Yeah, like, hopefully she finishes. But also, it was like, well, she's her own woman. She can make her own decisions. And if she decides to go through it, then fine.
Yeah,
As long as it's for the right
yeah,
reasons and,
for sure.
you made the right choice. So good. Yeah. Yeah. Good. There she is. College graduate. About to be so you be an RN? That's the degree
Yeah,
you'll get, or
it's a bachelor's
what's
degree
the
in
degree? A
nursing.
degree in
So
nursing? Is it a graduate
I'll have two
degree?
bachelor's degrees essentially.
Okay.
BSN. Yep.
So BSN?
I'll
BSN.
have a
Okay, so
BSN,
come
but then I
December
won't have my
2024.
RN until after the NCLEX
BSN.
exam. That's when I officially get the BSN
The
RN
exam.
title. Yep. Yep. Pretty sweet. I get to sign my email.
Nice.
Georgie Elliott, BSN RN. Yeah.
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 That's good. That's good. Add another one to the
Then we
to
gotta
the
get
to the
Samantha up
exam.
there.
Stack it up. Yep. Get Samantha up there. I don't know if Frank's gonna go back or not.
Interview.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'll talk to her in her episode maybe tomorrow. See what she's thinking. But yeah, when I talked to Nani, I think one of the questions I asked her was like, what is she most proud of, or what's like her biggest accomplishment, or it was something along those lines. Or what is she most proud of, I think it was. And she said
Oh,
it was the family that she had built. And she said, like, she's like, it's my kids and their kids and,
don't make
my
me
grandchildren,
cry.
and kind of like went down the docket of like all of how she was proud to have built this big family. And I don't remember her answer. I asked her like what she wants to be remembered for, and I don't remember what she
Oh,
said. I think she just said like
Nani.
being a good grandma or something like that. But
She is a good grandma.
yeah,
Not a
old non.
grandma. Nani. You can't
She
say
is. She's
grandma.
the
That sounds
best.
weird.
Uh, she's. I know. I know. She's a nanny for sure. Uh, how do you think the
Oh
family will
gosh.
evolve over the next like few years? Yeah. If we do
2029.
this in 2029
All right, 2030 is good.
or whatever,
So you'll be,
2030. Let's
let
just
me
round
think
it up,
about
right?
the
Like
ages
60.
really quick. I gotta think about this a little bit. So you're gonna be, oh God, you're gonna be old. You're gonna be like 35. Jeez. I know. All right, so I'll be,
Jeez.
wait, you said 5 years? Or did you say 30?
Sure, let's just go
What'd
5
you say?
years.
No,
I said
let's go
2030, but let's
20,
just go
20,
five
30
years
years
from
from
now.
now? Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, so you'll be 30.
No, the year 2030,
You'll be
George.
like 35. Frank, you'll be like 30 something. I'll be like maybe 30, 29. Sam will be, oof, Sam's so young.
30.
Sam's gonna be like 25. Dang. I don't
He'll be like
know.
25,
I feel like you're definitely
23. Yeah.
gonna hopefully I hope that you have a little family going so I can be an auntie. Um I hope I hope Frankie's closer to us. I hope Frankie finds somebody that, you know, she can spend the rest of her life with and she does something that she loves. Um yeah, I really am excited to see what happens with Frankie because I feel like she has so much potential and she just doesn't know where to put it right now. She's just so we'll see. Sam, I hope
Hmm.
that Sam's probably gonna have a pretty steady job. He's probably gonna be making good bucks. Who knows? Maybe Sam will go to like medical school or something. I don't know. There was a psychic that told mom that three of the kids were gonna be medical, I think. One pediatrician. I forget. Somebody was gonna be like a marine biologist. I don't know. We'll see it. Well, I have to ask mom. But I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we'll all be sort of
Okay.
more stable and we'll each have like our own careers and our maybe starting our own families and we'll see. We'll see. Mom and dad, mom, yep,
You think mom and
absolutely.
dad are like
I think mom's gonna
Florida?
go first and then dad's gonna follow after though. But we'll be going to visit them in Florida
Okay.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Nani's probably gonna go with them too. No, Nani. Yeah, no. I think Nani would probably honestly end up in Florida. I think she will.
You think
I
she'll
think there's
go?
some hesitancy right now, but I think she genuinely. I don't know. I think she's gonna change her mind. She's talked about it, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know though.
Maybe. I don't know. I think she's yeah. I think she's gonna bury her roots in
No,
Massachusetts. I don't think she's gonna want
uh,
to leave,
I don't know. That's how I see
but
it.
we'll
We
see.
all are more stable. We're probably starting, hopefully, our own families and spending more time together. And yeah, see.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm interested to see where the dynamic kind of shifts to. I talking with the cousins and Auntie Rose and everybody. One of like the favorite family traditions is
I know.
like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And right now, weird state of flux where it's like
I
we
know.
don't know where to go. And Thanksgiving too. They would always love coming to our house for Christmas Eve and doing plays with you guys and
Yeah, weird
freaking
stuff.
skits and whatever the hell you guys make us come watch and get tickets to go there. So I'm interested to see like where that tradition shift because it's at Auntie Rose's now. I think that's like a
Right.
transitory thing. I don't know that it's going to stay there. Um, it might. Who knows? But I think it's time for like maybe someone else to take up the you know the tradition, and I'm
Absolutely.
interested to
Yeah,
see where that goes
that's
and
something
how
I
that
look forward
shifts.
to as well. I would like to be a host for one of those holidays. I think that would be really fun. I Somebody has to pick up the slack. It's a lot of work, but I think that's I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that'll be
it is
good
a lot of
though.
work.
I think and then hopefully, I mean, typically, Samantha, Jake, and Auntie Rose and Uncle Billy typically do their own thing for Thanksgiving, but who knows? Maybe we'll start our own tradition where we all celebrate Thanksgiving together. I think that would be cool. We still do Easter together sometimes, or kind of
Mm-hmm.
dwindled a little bit, but when we have our own kids and all of that, maybe it'll be a different story, and we'll see. Our kids will be doing their own plays.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Right. What's do you have any like memories that stick out from any of our family traditions, whether that's Easter, Christmas,
Oof,
Thanksgiving, that stick out in your mind?
not really. I Christmas Day, I just always loved because it was just so chill and like we just spent time together all day long eating food. And that's my favorite. But I don't know, I feel like Don't see, my memory is just awful.
No, you know what I used to like to do is go over Auntie
Oh,
Rose's on Christmas
yes!
Eve.
Yes! That was fun.
Yeah, we'd go over Auntie Rose's
House
on
ready.
Christmas Eve, because then Mom would get the house ready on Christmas Eve all
Yep.
day and get the kids out of the house, and then we go to Auntie Rose's house.
And
We went to her
Tewksbury,
house in Billerica, but I think we also went
and
to her
that
house in
house in
Reading,
Tewksbury by
and maybe even
with the
somewhere else.
train in the back. She had a pool. It was a blue house. That was Billerica.
I thought that was Billerica.
I distinctively remember that house, and I
I could be
remember
wrong,
eating
but
lots of
I
ice
thought it was.
cream out of those cute little sundae bowls that she used to have. I and she used to
Yeah.
we used to make this dessert with like vanilla wafers, and I remember vividly standing in the kitchen in Reading and making that dessert with her one day, and also calling Mom to pick me up that night for some reason. I wanted to go home, but I used to love hanging out at Auntie Rose's house. That was that was the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
loved
good
it.
time.
Reading. I was
Good time.
Yeah, the little apartment in Reading was fun. Yeah, we'd go over there and hang out and do whatever, and then Christmas Eve would come, and then we'd leave her house, get all ready, and then go over like we'd be the first ones to come. It'd be
Yep.
like we'd come in, and then Auntie Mickey would come,
Yep.
and then Uncle, and then everyone else would start
Ah,
funneling later on.
good time.
Yeah, that was
Good
fun.
time. And what was the
Yeah,
um there was another thing that I'm thinking of and I can't remember. I remember, oh, it was Christmas Eve. Um, cat's out of the bag. Oh, I don't know if the cat's out of the bag. Never mind. Are you
I think
sure?
the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
No, when Santa would come,
Yes.
the real Santa would come.
Oh gosh,
Yes, yes, I remember
but
when real
no,
Santa would come too.
Christmas Eve, I remember, I think Uncle Billy, I don't know if Uncle Billy was still there. I remember Auntie Mickey, I don't know if she stayed at our house or if she was staying down the street or at Auntie Rose's, but she was with, um, Dad and I think it was Uncle Billy. I don't know. They were coming through the garage, and I remember I heard like a big bang and all this stuff, and they were actively getting ready for Christmas Day. They were setting something up. I just remember I came out of my room. They're like, "What are you doing?" I go, "What was that?" They're like, "Oh, that was just Santa, landing on the roof." Like stupid little things like that. Like so funny. And Auntie Polly, actually, we used to go
Yeah,
to Auntie Polly's house, me and Frankie, and bake cookies every single year, and that was so much fun. And I wish we honestly still did that because I love that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, they're awesome. I love those guys. I love hanging out with them. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job at hanging out with them. Well, I don't know.
yeah,
Last time I
yeah. I
went
saw
home and
them
Frankie
at
was
Auntie
home, so
Rose's
last
too.
Christmas we went. Yeah, and then and Auntie Rose's, yeah, and I saw them last
Yeah,
summer. So I've tried to keep up with
that's
them.
funny.
They're great. Love them.
It's funny
Yeah.
watching like
Hmm.
them grow too. Like even though I'm not that much older than them, like it's just weird. Like seeing like
Hmm.
Samantha, Jake, them, baby Sam. I'm like, geez, like where did the time go? Especially baby Sam, because I just still look at him and I'm like, you're little in my mind. Like you're just baby Sam, like with your little glasses and everything. Like, oh my gosh, how are you
I
a
know.
teenager?
I, I
Oh gosh.
I know.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait to
have them
see
on.
his insight.
Yeah, I'm having them on the.
Beautiful.
I'm talking to Uncle in about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna try to get Baby Sam on before I post this thing because I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Imagine you
Yeah.
had something from when you were 13 years old.
Whoa, time
You know,
warp.
you
I
go
know.
back. I'd be like,
I know.
what the
I think it
hell?
would be funny if we had done this when we were kids too, and like seeing it progress over the years. But hey, now this could be a new
Yeah,
tradition, right? Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, we have like family videos and stuff too. Granted, they're probably not like as easy to access, but I'm sure we could compile them onto like DVDs and download them
Yeah.
on a laptop and to a hard drive and
True.
you know
True.
the whole nine. But yeah. Well, George,
I know.
it's
I
been lovely
know.
talking to you. I hate to kick
Uncle's
you off. We've
waiting.
been going for a little over an hour, but Uncle's on the line. I gotta charge my phone and do a couple other things, but before I sit down with
Yeah.
Unc. But
Yeah. That was pretty
this
good.
was good.
Nice.
I felt like we crushed it. Did real good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's probably
yeah.
my
And we can edit
AirPods
all the stuff
popping
out if we
out,
need
the
to too. This is
phone
just
call, all
talking to you.
that. But it's fine.